Good evening once again and welcome to another edition of Caribbean Feedback. I am your host, your moderator, your big brother, Curtis Henry. How y'all doing this evening, lady and gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Doing the vibes.
Oh, the vibes.
That's
I
right.
notice we have one panelist missing, our regular late class member.
Yeah, making this thing a habit.
Yeah, seem to have very little respect for time. And welcoming back this evening, Mr. Mark Chase. I'm so glad that you're feeling a whole lot better.
Welcome
and
back,
that you
welcome back.
can join us.
Yes, man. I'm feeling much better. I have a voice rather than a cricket.
Oh.
I can breathe one time. So, much better.
Yeah, breathe two times.
Well, sir, I am glad that you finally realized that the Nile is a river in Africa and that you are no longer living in denial. We were discussing the other day that maybe the actual truth that had you bedridden was the realization that you lost a president, and that is what struck you ill.
I lost a president. I didn't know I had one. I didn't know I had one. Why don't you enlighten me on that? Because I must be confused.
I thought you were living in denial, sir. That's why I said the Nile is a river in Africa.
Right, so, and I only do the backstroke in that.
I'm so happy that you're with us once again. And I was hoping that our late member just jump right into the room this evening, but I see she's coming somewhere with a packet of papers, and probably good reasons why she was late. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna quit the chit chat and just kind of move. Wait a minute, what's wrong with your head, Mark? What's I'm seeing? That's waves.
It's the same ones that's in my head every day.
No, I never see that, boss. It look like your hair straight.
It ain't straight. It's the same it's been every day.
What kind of gel spritz? What are you putting in? It look kind of wavy going up in the air there.
Mark,
you
need to remind this man your guy, you know. I'm not
I'm not gonna remind him of nothing because he West African. I ain't gonna say nothing to him.
You mix with something, some whatever it is, it coming out this evening. You know, your hair look going up in the air like. Hello. Hell is indeed very low. Good evening, Dr. Judith. How are you?
I'm well. How's everybody?
Good.
I am good.
Good.
So glad you could join us. Now that everyone is in class, I would like for us to just begin and jump right into this topic. Starting with the woman to my immediate left, Miss Forrester from Bantu Creations. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Karin Forrester with Bantu Creations. Bantu Creations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in beautiful shapes, colors, sizes. Bantu Creations is available on Facebook as Bantu Creations and also on IG as Bantu Creations. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judith.
Hello, everyone. My name is Judith Barnes. I am an author, mental health therapist, artist, con artist. Sorry. Couldn't resist that. Anyway, basically that's it. I'm gonna have for the new year. I'm gonna have almanacs, calendars with my paintings. That's my newest project.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Lovely. Good night,
Good
Lucy.
night. And Sherry.
Good night, Sherry Ann. Good night. Mr. Archer.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us.
It's a privilege and splendiferous moment to be here with you all tonight. You know, I am just excited like a kid in the candy store. I'm really excited, really excited. We want to welcome each and every one of you tonight. What we're going to be discussing tonight is really hair raising.
All right.
And if you have no hair on your head like me, you know, something else will be raising.
I was going to ask you how you was going to pull that one off, but I'm glad you explained that hair raising.
Yeah,
and
I have some
on your head.
here, so
Okay, I hear you, boss.
Yeah, we'll get the system. But I'm Samuel Archer from Musilog.com. And also, by the way, Musilogwoman.com just launched yesterday.
Yeah.
So you go to Musilogwoman.com or Musilogwoman.net, and you'll see the sister publication. And you know, we want to definitely congratulate the team and the crew and Nadira Nojahan on that effort there. And I'm also the new author of the book Hybrid Executive, and you know, get it. And tonight is episode. I know you was waiting for that part. 10, 5, and 4.
Oh,
Episode number 19.
19, man, 19.
Yes, you
You remember when it was 19?
Yes, man. That's a couple of years ago. How you mean if I remember that?
I thought we just got rid of a liar for president.
Hi, Nadira.
Welcome.
And yes,
back to you, brother.
ladies and gentlemen, my name is Curtis Henry, representing Caribbean Chat.
That's right.
Caribbean Chat is a platform that caters to Caribbean people of excellence, where we showcase your talent and your contribution to our culture and our people as a whole. You can find Caribbean Chat on YouTube. That's Caribbean Chat with 2 T's, CHATT. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, Caribbean Chat. I urge you, go on Facebook, like the page. Go to YouTube, smash that subscribe button, and gently hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. Gently touch the button. Do the same for Caribbean Feedback. And what I ask you all, if you like what's going on here, if you object to what's going on here, go to the channel. Leave us your thoughts. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. Let us know future topics that we may discuss. Let's know what's going on in your minds so we can cater to you and give you exactly what it is you need. Tonight, our subject matter. We kind of leave the title blank. So I'm going to put it in here. It said, what the blankety blank did he say? You know, sometimes people make some comments. Tonight, we're generally talking about men. I want to hear women thoughts on what they think going through our mind in terms of some of the things that come out of our mouth. This statement that I just made, what the did he just say?
Yeah.
This statement is uttered by women across the world every day.
Mm.
Sometimes they may not necessarily vocalize it, but they say it with an expression like, and then they stare at some unfortunate poor soul as he may, or in most cases, may not show any concern for your displeasure. Why do you women get upset after you spend hours putting yourself together, giving yourself that stamp of approval before you step outside, and then get angry when you get a compliment on your appearance? I have had women look at me and ask, what the hell are you looking at? To which I reply, I'm trying to figure that out by damn self. I have to ask myself, what is it on God's green earth that women really want? This question has plagued man since the beginning of time. What is it, huh? What the hell do you all really want? I wish there was some secret code or some secret formula that I could pass on to get you all to understand that not every man that says hello to you is trying to get you in bed. Well, sometimes. Okay, most times. But get this through your all heads. Most times, good morning means just that. Good morning. Hey, sister. You look like royalty this evening, you know. Empress. Talk to me now, girl.
Oh, God. Lord, today, if you see you were fine, sister, Empress, I'm good with that. The girl, I'm not good with that at all. You can leave that out unless you want me to turn into the beer. Leave that part out. Yes. The girl triggers the beer. I tell you straight up. I would really appreciate if you keep it as respectful as possible. You understand what I said to you? You want a response from me? You are respectful to me. Girl don't work for me at all.
So somebody call you a girl on the street, you don't answer to that?
No, sir.
But excuse my ignorance here. I thought that was some kind of term of endearment in Jamaica.
Forgive me. Not
to you.
Dr. Judith, chime in anytime. Girl is not a term of endearment to me.
No, I heard a little girl say that one time. When I said a little girl about 7, she had just came up from Jamaica, and somebody looked at her and said, "Wait, you Monica daughter?" She said, "No, me is Monica, girl."
No, sir. That's a child.
So what am I missing here in saying that?
I am a woman, and I do not like the word, and I don't think there's anything endearing about it.
Dr. Judith, is it you're not?
Oh, you're so quiet. You're so quiet. Somebody can call you.
I think Dr. Judith revving up. I think Dr. Judith revving up.
She'll take our time easy, She'll take our time easy.
No. People don't be serious. People don't usually call me girl. No, I mean seriously. Nobody's ever.
Even back in the day, even back when you were in your 20s,
no,
that is not acceptable. It's just not.
To be very honest with you, I don't remember anybody ever called me girl.
Gee.
And I wouldn't have answered. I wouldn't have answered anyway. I remember people call you as a little girl, gal, pick me, your grandmother or somebody like that.
There's a difference between
gal but not a man. Not a man. I don't think a man has ever called me gal. I don't respond to a lot of things anyway, so I wouldn't,
I think
part of the double standard in what I just said, and I realized it after saying it. And this is confusion that I realized. I'm going to own up to this on behalf of some men. Some of the mixed messages we send. Initially, I referred to her as sister. And then I say Empress. Which one are you trying to achieve? You want her to be a sister? Or you want her to be a queen? So when you come up and you address her as sister, and then you start to talk about Empress, you look good. And then you use a word like girl and you disrespect her, or some other adjective. I think this is kind of confusing, Sam. The messages we sending.
May I say something before Sam answers you? Sam, may I say something before you say that? I think that men start out with one name, and depending on how you respond, they tend to they get rude. If you don't respond the way they want you to, then they get to gal. But like I said, I've never been called gal, so I don't know. But I just wanted to add that. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry, Sam.
So, but okay. So now the dynamic of the show tonight is that some things are said not intentionally to offend or to hurt somebody, but it does anyway. So when he said, so he actually did the experiment and he said the gal, and then you got the response, right? So it something similar to that would be if you're let's say you're in an argument with your significant other, and the gentleman happens to say, "Why you overreacting?"
Not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Isn't that a good way to make her quiet?
Oh, sure.
Boy.
So now when you say that,
You wake up a storm.
It goes to the title. What the bleep did he just say?
So you're saying to ask a woman to that or tell her that she's overreacting in the humblest of way, in the humblest of manner. That's wrong.
Sarcasm.
It might be wrong, but it might be like, okay, let's say you're in the heat of the moment, and not all of the sayings would happen in the heat of a moment, but let's say you're in the heat of the moment. Both parties may want to inflict something to pull the nerve of the other person.
Pour gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. So so if the guy says you're overreacting, now he may not mean that he's trying to pour any gas on it, but the sister or the wife, girlfriend, now she will take that and run with it.
Know who you're with, Sam. Know who you're with.
Know who you're with?
You have to know who you're with.
Well,
who is your partner?
Expound on that.
That's a trigger word. That is a trigger term, trigger word. Know who you're with. That's really important.
Okay.
That is very, very,
very important.
I might
walk
up to someone. Hi, my name is Mark. I noticed you look really, really good tonight, and then I might look at the next one, and say, baby, you use Calgon? Because I about to drink the bath water. And I gonna take the Johnny cake and suck the side of the tub. You're so bad.
I guess you know who you're talking to.
You better get one good lick.
I tell you. That does not go across the board very well.
No, you have to know who you're talking
about. Know who you're dealing with.
Let me tell you a story that's kind of humorous. It's kind of in this regard. I used to work in a hospital in Florida Medical Center. I worked the midnight shift, and this police officer would come in there quite often, and he walked in flirting. It just came back to me. Oh, God. And he had a way of staring. I mean, he stared at me one night. It was cold in there because, the most hospitals are cold and 1 o'clock in the morning. And he stared at me. I was walking down the hall. He was walking behind me. And I turned around. I said, would you put my dress back on, please? And he said, oh, my God. He said, I've never heard like that before. Because I saw the man took my dress off. And that's just an after. Just came to my mind.
I realized you said it was cold. But then after it get hot in the hospital. I hear you.
It was very cold in the hospital. I had a dress on, thank you.
It was, and then it got very hot. That's what you said.
No, I never said anything. Listen, you're looking
that's what you implied.
I never implied no blouse and skirt, not like that. You look argument. Wrong girl.
So let me ask you something, Mark. Being a older gentleman, how do you find these pickup lines and stuff have changed over the years from when you were a young boy compared to how brazen some people are today? How much that has changed over the years?
People don't talk to each other anymore. They don't talk to each other. They don't introduce themselves to each other. So it's become more brazen. It's sort of, just let me throw something out here. Let me dash something out and see if it come back. You had to have a conversation with somebody. No, if you ever go out somewhere and you see 4, 5, 6 younger people, they're all on the phone talking to each other. I call them keyboard jockeys. They could say any kind of anything to each other, and it doesn't matter. You had to be careful not to be rude. You catch one lick. If you did,
okay. Okay, Mark, we're going to revisit that thought. You're breaking up tremendously on this end. Is anyone else picking up on that? Or is it just me?
Yes.
It has like
hello?
a whole...
No, the audio from Mark.
It's a StreamYard thing. Sam is frozen also.
I'm frozen? Okay. Maybe we need to just give everything a little...
Yeah, it's a StreamYard issue. We heard you, but you still didn't move.
Who, me?
Oh, Mark.
Okay.
There he is. He's alive.
All right.
Mark?
Everything.
Okay, yeah, you seem to right. There you go. You seem to.
No need to call
he's alive.
Here, right?
All right.
No, not really. We're hearing you, but you're frozen.
All right, so I'm going to...
Karin talking, she's frozen. Judith, give me signs alive. Judith, give me sign alive.
I'm here.
Judith frozen. Mark?
I'm frozen
all
too.
right, Mark I
don't feel frozen.
All right, we seem to be back on.
All right.
I'm frozen.
Keep talking, guys. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna do a little technical thing and come right back.
I don't
Mark
feel
frozen. Judith frozen. Karin seemed to be frozen.
I'm not frozen.
I'm seeing everybody fine.
I'm good. I'm here.
All right. Yes. He said keep talking, but ain't nobody saying nothing.
You gone? No.
We're here.
Curtis gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doing a little technical adjustment.
No, once you finish up your story, what you were saying, until they can.
I just find that younger people don't speak to each other. And so they don't know what it is they're supposed to say. So they're completely brazen, in what they say.
But they're brazen. They're only brazen with texting and stuff like that. They're not brazen.
Right, because they don't.
They can remain anonymous. Right?
They don't relate. I see kids. I walk into a restaurant, 4 or 5 of them. And they all are sitting there texting, talking to each other that way rather than saying, hi, my name is Mark. What's your name? I noticed you across the room. You look really nice today. Whatever you're going to say. That doesn't happen.
Sam, welcome back.
I miss those things. I like talking with people. I like people talking to me and silliness, and people don't talk much anymore. It's just
I know what is sort of on topic. What you're saying, I miss the talking, but I also miss the writing. I used to love to write letters or little notes, and people don't do that anymore. Everything is texting and emojis, and there's a lot lost, in using those types of means of communication.
How we looking, guys?
Yes. We seem to be back. We seem to be back on. We seem to be back on. The cards have been shuffled.
Sherry-Ann said everything looked fine on her end, but we were there saying what's going on.
We're having a little
We haven't had glitches like this for months.
Yeah,
the cards have been shuffled, and those who were on top are now below.
Yeah, the first
for about 18 months.
Shall be first.
You haven't had this problem for about 18 months, right, Sam?
The first shall become the last.
You haven't had this problem for about 18 episodes.
18 episodes.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about.
I did something a little bit different, so I think it's probably testing the internet on my end here. It could be that, or it could just be StreamYard acting up a little bit there. But
okay. So happy that we're back on. So happy that we're back on. In terms of, we were discussing when Mark lost contact about the difference in the communication between, let's say, go back to when he was a boy compared to today. If we listen to the music, a lot of the stuff has changed in terms of just the communication. I remember songs where, let's go back to the 80s. The woman talking about, I want the moon, the stars, and the mountains.
I know a bad song from the 80s. I only love you on 2 occasions, both day and night.
That
kind of music.
I only think of you on 2 occasions.
Both day and night, by The Deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I had a woman told me that she wanted the moon and the stars and the mountains. I gave her a son.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
SON. Okay.
So let me interject one of the comments that actually spurred this topic tonight. A phrase that's used innocently, but it does cause a little blood anger in the mix. And that phrase is, "You're pretty for a dark skinned girl."
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
You've heard that one before.
I have heard that.
Oh.
Are you dark butt?
Let's unpack that one a little bit.
I think I want to leave that right where it was. You understand me? I want to leave that right in the suitcase it was and drop it with somebody else, because that's not my baggage.
I've heard that. I've heard when you hear, when I used to wear my hair long, you hear pretty butt, or your dark butt, or your teeth white, all that stupidity. So, but the thing is, to be honest with you, the thing is that I have never felt insulted by that, because I am dark. So, I never really had an issue with it. And I think people speak to me from their limitations, not mine. I'm not limited in color. It's
their words have nothing to do with you. That's their issue, not yours.
I've always thought I was gorgeous, so it didn't make any difference to me what people said. And I think when a young woman's father, if your father tells you that you're pretty or whatever, it makes an imprint on you. And plus, I never took on people with that foolishness. And that's one of the reasons why I wear my hair the way I wear it, is because I am free to wear it long, I'm free to wear it short. It's my hair. I can do whatever I want to do. But I don't wear it out of defiance. I wear it out of comfort. This way I can go to bed. I don't have to worry about it in the morning, at night, nothing. But then again, sometimes I let it grow. But let me tell you, a brown-skinned Jamaican told me one time, I wore my hair, was out there, bushy, a few years ago. You look like an African. I say, and what's wrong with looking like an African? Because I always have an answer. Because I find it very offensive that you talk to Jamaicans about Africans, and they behave like they're talking about trash. And I mean, I've experienced that kind of conversation. So I just, to be honest with you guys, especially as I get more mature, not a lot of things touch me anymore. It's because I'm very aware.
You sure you don't want to reword that?
Not a lot of things touch me, or anybody touch me either. Nobody not touch me.
What did she just say?
Dr. Judith, I'll talk to you privately about that later. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. You know, you're just about a 6-hour drive from me. So don't mind them. We'll take care of that.
Mark, let me say this. The thing is, this is that I am not touched by lack of interest. I'm not touched because it is not healthy. I don't like crazy people, and I'm scared of crazy people, so I stay alone. Understand?
But
so that's why
I can tell you I'm mad and you very close to me, so we talk about that later.
All right.
Don't worry for them young people over there. Me and you will talk privately.
Okay.
Don't worry for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Go through, Sam.
So, I wanted to just revisit the girl talk, right? Because when we in the Caribbean we speak dialect. So if you're going to, dialect the word girl, how do you dialect that without saying girl?
It's more like how it is said, Sam. It's not that the word in and of itself is
how it's said.
Offensive. It's how it is said from a man to a woman. It's the equivalent here would be bitch. Straight up.
Really?
The way that a man gal.
It's the intonation. It's the intonation.
So there's a context. So there's a context to this then.
Right.
Absolutely.
So when they say the girl them, and in a song, right? The girl them, like
a man, a Jamaican man who is has a very overactive dating life. Let's call it that. It's called a gyalis, and that is considered nice and cute. But when you call a woman gal, you look down on her like she's a bitch. You're not dep on that. It's all about intonation.
Interesting.
And what's interesting to see the woman that a man would call gal in terms of how she dresses, and is she dark, is she light? People have their own their whole setup, and especially Jamaican men, they're less likely, and this is in my narrow view, they're less likely to call a light-skinned woman a gal.
Really?
Okay. No, man. Okay. No. I hear.
Oh, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me.
Girl.
Listen, I'm telling you what I know.
Your experience.
Because light-skinned women are put on. Let me tell you something. Lyndon Johnson said that regarding black men and black people and white people. He said, and I'm paraphrasing. He said that the poorest and most uneducated white man think he's better than the richest and most educated black man. Okay? The light-skinned woman, no matter how her pedigree is low in terms of finances and where she lives, is considered better than a dark-skinned woman living in the most posh and wonderful. And that's a fact. And black people don't want to deal with those things, but it is a fact.
I don't know that to be a fact.
Not in Guyana.
I have not experienced
because they would call when you call like an Indian woman or the clear gal. It's like she's from country, back down, oh, she clear. The clear gal. When you say the woman, you're talking about a black woman. Okay, so
if you even watch some of the plays that has been done in Jamaica, and I saw one down there. I'd gone down there to visit, and it deals with that theme. A dark-skinned Jamaican girl, and the guy was Indian, I think. And they were against the family marrying him because. And she was just treated badly. She was dark-skinned and he was Indian. I know a lot of Indians don't think they're black.
There are plenty of them. Plenty of them. But in
okay, so let's bring this back home now. Let me ask you all something, sisters. What is the worst pickup line a man ever tried to use on you thinking that it would impress you?
I want to hear this.
I walked into a store on Franklin, I forgot the cross street. I was a teenager, I'd say 17, 18, a little corner store with a friend of mine, a girlfriend. And the man started to tell me that my lips are really pretty. Okay, that's cute. But he was a much older person, could have been my grandfather, really. And at the time. And then he started to tell me what he thought my lips would be perfect for, like for oral, performing oral sex. And I'm thinking, you mothers.
You know, so funny. I don't think I ever want to see Karin upset enough.
I can cap it as long as it's.
That would be amazing, boy. I mean, thunderstorm and lightning and everything, boy. What?
So Judith,
so I think that's the worst. That's the worst.
What's the lamest line you ever heard?
I can't even think of any. I honestly can't. I can't. I say with me, it's usually men. Men, it's usually a lot of looking. And men who tell me that they get nervous around me, so I guess they don't know what to say. But it's a lot of staring, and finally they come over, but I don't hear a lot of, and I think people kind of can read people, and I don't know. I'm only saying this, that maybe they look at me and say, don't bother say certain things to her. I don't know. I think that's what happens.
I got to talk to you.
What's the sweetest thing you remember? What's the sweetest thing you could remember right now? Somebody saying to you.
I tell you what the sweetest thing. Let me tell you, the sweetest thing happened at a club in New Rochelle. I had gone there. I think it was in the late 80s. It was the late 80s. And I'd gone there. Hopeton Lewis was doing a show there, and he had invited me to come. And so I went, and while we were in the club, I saw this guy staring, but I thought he was staring at somebody else. So he kept looking, and he played in the band that was playing there. And God, he just kept staring, but I was aware after a while that he was staring at me. So then I said, you know what? Let me be sure. So what I did is I went to the ladies' room. He came and intersected with me as I was going into the ladies' room, and he stopped me. And I can't remember what he said, because he had this killer smile. This guy had this smile that just, and the next time,
Hopeton Lewis, the artist?
Yeah, the singer.
Yeah.
Not him. It wasn't him. No, it was somebody. No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
He invited me to be at the club. He was performing, but I met somebody there. But it was all looks. I mean, it was all looks. And finally, I said, let me go to the ladies' room and see if it's really me that he's looking at. So as I went to the ladies' room, he came and intersected with me, and he said, I don't know what he said, but let me tell you something. We ended up dancing till they had to. That's the song I danced to. I Only Love You on 2 occasions. That was the song I danced to with him that night. And I still know him today. But it was one, and let me tell you, this guy was just very respectful, but things didn't work out. Some issues came up. But he has always been very respectful to me. Always been very respectful.
So there was instant chemistry? Like
there was
in the dance, in the event, there was some kind of
from the looks that ended up. He asked me to dance, and I was like, and in my mind I'm going, what the heck is this? But it was chemistry. But I like, but you know what else? What it is? I like bright men. So if he had not been too bright, I would have entertained him for long. I don't like.
Was he 6 foot?
No, he was not. No, he was not.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
He is about 5 foot. He's about 5'8", and I'm 5'7".
So Judith, if he was bright, we talk in English. The chemistry. Was there any biology?
No, there was no biology there. You're too rude. And if it was, I wouldn't tell you. There was no biology. I am not a quick draw, McGraw.
So Karen, tell me something where somebody said.
Huh? Tell you something what?
Tell me something somebody said that just sweeten you. Something where you say like, what?
Something good?
Yeah. Well, if it was bad, but if it's sweet, yeah.
Actually, that you started stumping me. I can't think of anything so fabulous offhand. As Dr. Judith said before, anything that is respectful from the approach, the tone, all of that. That is what appeals to me. And if they have a sense of humor, even better.
Yes.
But,
yes.
yeah, But it's just, unfortunately, we have a really strong memory of the negative comments. I'm trying to think of something that, I can't think of anything at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm falling short on that one. Sorry about that. Can't think of anything really.
Lucy in the chat said, it looked like the sweetest thing she heard was, "I will give you the moon and stars."
Well, that's what I heard. Why is she taking the lines that I heard? Oh no! They didn't tell me that. They were asking me for the moon and the stars.
And you gave them a song.
I give her a song.
SON.
What does that really mean? I mean, you really can't give anybody the moon and the stars. So what you really giving them?
Everything that you can, within reason. Don't be so literal. Don't be so literal. Sam.
But hey,
Sam, you're the one. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go through.
No, I was just gonna say, Sam, you are the one who introduced this topic. You're the reason this topic came to fruition. How is that you're there sitting back, not pushing in with? Why did you come up with this topic? I asked you that before. What was it? What led you to bring this to the table, so to speak?
Yeah, well, this is, you and I were having a conversation, so you you are the one to pull the topic out of the conversation that you were having.
Don't try to blame me. This was your topic. I just happened to write it down, but this was your topic. So what made you want to discuss this? Did you have some skills?
Well, we have somewhat almost like our topic last week. We have similar situations where something again would be said either innocently or it's said a certain way, not intended to offend or to hurt anyone, but it does so anyway. And we had some examples, so we're just messing with the different dynamics.
But you're not saying specifically, like give us an example.
You need an example?
Give us examples of what you're talking about, because that's what the whole show is supposed to be about. Give us examples.
We covered a few already,
Has anybody ever, Sam? Has anybody ever? Has a woman ever come on to you and said something? How did she approach you, and how did you respond?
Approaching me with a comment or approaching me?
You know what I'm talking about.
Would come from a guy, like the guy would make the comments. And
I want to know if a woman. I want to know if a woman says,
Sam,
you know something, Sam. Sam. I like a man with a bald head.
Man. Gosh.
I like a man with a bald head. How would you respond? Is that considered insulting to you, or is that pleasant to you?
Suppose she walked up and said, "I want to lick you like a lollipop from head to toe." Then what do you say?
I don't hear nice things all the time. It's normally said either in away from me, or so you.
If she said.
Huh?
If she said,
don't you repeat that. Don't you repeat that. Don't repeat that. Stop it.
So, you got rebuked. We're having an adult conversation.
Hey.
What would you say to that? Would that be so deeply offensive? Oh my goodness.
Well,
You
no,
talk,
I
you
mean,
talking,
I
man.
wouldn't if
I didn't use any profanity.
It depends. I mean, like how you, like what you said earlier. It would depend on who and what the situation is.
Listen to him.
So
What
based
is
on
up
that,
with you?
it goes to the
What is
context.
up
That
with
was
you?
so politically correct.
Miss say, oh God.
I want to, you said it. I want to go brush my teeth. That's how politically correct
I
it
guess you
was.
might have to help us out with that.
I'm gonna get my daughter to get the Listerine for me because my God, that was so politically correct.
Listen,
I just depend on
the
who to
format. The premise of this format is to have conversations. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but let's be realistic. People say these things. So I'm saying,
Yes, they
if
do.
someone approaches in that manner, is it deeply offensive?
Hypothetically, Sam, if Miles to Infinity wants to know why you're being so shady. Well, you missed that one.
I mean, real talk. Real talk.
What
I
is
mean,
so,
without
so
being
funny?
offensive, we could have a real conversation.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Eh.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Come on. Jump in.
But, okay,
All right,
so-
let me ask you a question,
no,
Sam. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Sam. What if you and I met and we're talking and we getting to know each other and you call me one day, I said, you know something, Sam? You're just like bun and cheese to me. What would you do with that?
I'll giggle.
Who's the bun and who's the cheese?
I'm trying to see.
I want to know, am I the cheese or the bun?
It doesn't matter.
Who's the cheese?
I said you're like bun and cheese to me. So I'm giving you both. What would your response be?
It would be pleasant. It would be a pleasant.
Oh, it would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Such as
what kind of bun?
Such
You
as
got
what?
what kind of cheese?
Sam,
I don't think it would be about the bun and the cheese, but
Sam,
yes, sir.
read the message box for me, please.
Thank you very much, Sherelle. Thank you.
You know what, Sam?
Thank you.
I did that to that man.
Question
that I met in the club. I did that to him sometime later. And you know what happened? He said, Judith, you're driving me crazy. So what would you say?
Nah, answer it. Not today. Oh, God.
Okay.
Sam.
We're waiting.
They're still waiting.
Wait, I holding up the party now?
Yes.
Yeah.
This
They're
is
waiting on a
hypothetical.
response.
It's hypothetical.
Represent, Sam.
But
Come on, Sam. Represent for the brothers.
I'm representing?
No.
Okay.
He's not going to do it. He's political. He's politically correct.
No, why not? So
Let me go get my toothbrush, man.
I'm
Because
looking to make sure that
I gotta wash my mouth out behind me.
Okay, Mark, you answer the question then.
Baby, you got some pepper sauce?
this is a different
If I bun and
entity
cheese,
altogether.
pepper sauce, we can do something. I told you, Dr. Judith, I will talk to you later personally. I told you that. So you don't have to worry about that. So if I bun and cheese to you, wait, hold on. Hold on.
He born in December and you born January. Big difference.
Let me interject something here. This brought up a very interesting memory on my part. When I was much younger, a lot, naive. I remember being involved with an older sister. She wasn't quite to say older woman, but what she tried to do to convince me to have unprotected sex, I said, well, I didn't have back then we just used to call it by the name. I said, I didn't have no Durex. That was the name of the product, right? Durex. We used to just call them Durex. I didn't have none. She said, well, you don't have to worry about me getting pregnant because if we have sex standing up, I won't get pregnant.
Oh, Jesus.
And she tried to convince me in my naivety that this way, in fact, was possible. That's one of the most outrageous things I have ever heard. Nurse Karin, explain for the young, impressionable minds out there if they ever hear anything as dumb as that coming from a woman.
Did you do it?
No. I had better sense at that point in time.
Okay.
Well,
So,
sir,
tell us how
I
this
would
thing
say
really,
to
really works.
to any adolescent or pre-adolescent that once you are able to produce sperm, you're certainly able to impregnate a young woman who is in her teens, preteens, teens, if she's menstruating, right? It doesn't take much. Even the pre-ejaculatory fluid, just that little drop, just before the sperm is ejaculated, can lead to pregnancy because you do have sperm in that as well. That's all it takes. Just a little. Let me just go in for a moment and pull it back out. We all know there are men all over the world can tell you that little technique does not work. So it doesn't matter the position you're in doesn't matter. How quickly you withdraw doesn't matter. Believe me, it's as long as you're both of an age where you are in a reproductive period, you can certainly impregnate.
Just one look. That's all it took.
That's all.
So that was one of the dumb things that I heard, that make me go, what the did she say? Even as a child, I knew better because that didn't make much sense to me. That's all.
I've got to say the dumbest thing I've said.
Oh boy.
Got
married.
Be careful. Have a history.
I was at the Hoyt and Skimmerhorn station in Brooklyn. And there was this gal, boy, all I saw was she behind. That was all I needed to see. And she was fishing around and she first looking. Couldn't find she talking. So I went in my pocket. I said, excuse me.
Yes, man.
Let me drop this in here. Oh, she said, thank you. Then I go in my other pocket. I realize I ain't got no talking. So I just jump over this turnstile. Police come, take me away. Give me a $35 ticket. The gal was laughing at me.
Oh, no.
And we talk all the way home to the Bronx.
You're breaking up to me. I don't know.
I actually am still married to her. I've been married to her for 38 years.
Oh, my gracious me.
Breaking up, yes, breaking up.
I ever saved my life.
All for a token, boy? What? Wow.
35 cents, sir. 35 cents on the A.
On the A train.
On the A train. Hoyt Skimmerhorn.
But he got 38 years
give away a token and give away your life.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties again. Everybody freezing.
It's looking good though.
You give away a token and give away your freedom.
I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen.
It almost matches. It was 35 cents for 38 years.
That's what happened. Yeah, I know. She got 3 extra years.
but that was good, right? You said the worst thing you said, but
I was a jackass. You understand me? I was a jackass. I gonna put a 35-cent token and get a $35 ticket for jump the turnstile. And I think the only reason the woman talked to me was because I was so stupid.
Stupidity saved the day.
Yeah, I either saved the day for her and end the day for me.
But it was worth it in the long run, right?
Oh, yes, man. I got 3 nice children out of that.
35 cents. Hey, it goes a long way.
Yeah, that
Welcome
was
back.
it was
My
well.
goodness.
That would be 35 cents, $35.35.
Wow. It
Because
was
I had to
worth
go
every
to
bit of it.
court to pay the ticket.
Great investment.
Right?
I got no
Hold on.
return.
While we're on the subject of money, I want to ask the two ladies up there something. You ever had a man brazen enough who you barely know, just meet, or something who turned up and just ask you for money like
I
that really
have
make you say what?
what the what? I had a I don't even like to think of this person at all. This is the only person in my entire life that I will never speak to again. But he was in my life. Like I wish I could have gone back to the day before we met. You know that line from that song, and escape my regret. I remember he said to me one time, we'd been seeing each other for a small period of time, and it was near tax season. And he certainly was working. I was working, and he felt entitled. Asked me for $200 of my tax return money, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Are you serious? He felt truly entitled to getting some of my money, and he's keeping his, and he wanted some of mine, and he was very serious. It wasn't like a joke. So I don't look back at this person fondly at all, and that's the least of his offenses in my book.
The least of his offenses.
Yes.
The least.
Oh, yes.
Or,
Judith?
Yes.
Judith?
See, I can
you
hear
ever
all
try
that
to-
noise in the background. You gonna ask me for my money? What he asked me? Oh my God, I can hear that.
But I mean, entitled, I don't mean, oh, can you lend me? Can you give me? It was like he felt entitled to it. He wanted that, and he gave me the number that he wanted. And I thought, my mother never dropped me from my head, so I don't know where I take this thing for,
So this guy was extremely confident then.
I wouldn't know if it's confidence or just that sense of entitlement. I find it a lot with certain ethnicities, but just to find a black man with that level of entitlement, I mean, he really thought that I was going to get my funds and give him $200.
Well, you know what they say. It's not the destination.
It's a journey. I promise you. If I see that across the street, me gone the opposite
It's
direction.
the people you meet on the way and the lessons you've learned.
Everything is a
So
learning
Judith,
lesson. So.
Anybody ever try to stick the hand in your pocket?
Not for money.
All right.
I gonna talk to you later, Dr. Judith. I'm gonna talk to you later.
I had an experience.
The thing is that I don't know what it is. My brothers tell me I'm very difficult, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I remember having a conversation with a guy in New York, a couple of guys about money. I don't remember how it came about because I don't discuss money with men unless I'm married to them. So I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I remember telling this guy, I said, listen, if you have a quarter and I have a dime, we can rub it together, but you're not getting my dime. I do not give men money. I don't believe in it. I believe in partnership. So if I'm involved with you, we help each other out. And I don't ask for things easily. That's not something I do easily or well. But no, because like I said, I've told at least a couple guys, what you have, and if you're together, we can rub it together. But I'm not giving you it. I don't give men money. I just,
What you have and what I have, we can rub it together. You hear that, man?
I knew you was going to take it some places.
Curtis, don't antagonize it. I already don't have a conversation with her. Mind yourself. You're in that lower corner and mind yourself. That's between me and she. It's not for you.
No, but seriously, I don't know. Like Karin is saying about entitled. I don't know how women can entertain conversations with men about money when we don't have an agreement, we don't have a relationship, or even if we do, I just it doesn't compute. There's something that just doesn't. I don't understand it, and I guess I show it because nobody talks to me about money. I mean, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not giving you anything. Now I am big on sharing. I'm big on partnership. I'm big on all of that stuff. But we have to get some place and have some kind of commitment before. And you must let me offer. You must let me offer. Don't demand anything of me. I'm very kind unto your demand. That entitled. Don't demand anything from me. You know. So
what
All
I've
right,
done
here
Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee.
Listen,
Hey.
some of the things that I say to you guys, you have to understand something. I think for everybody, everybody says their story in a different way. Not everything that I say I've always known to do, but I have known it long enough that it didn't happen 10 years ago, it didn't happen 15 years ago. You know, there's certain things that when I was much younger, but I think a lot of it has to do with my father. I really believe that. My father just gave us the information about who we're supposed to be. And so if you have somebody, and my father's a brilliant man, not college educated, none of that stuff, but a brilliant man. But when he gave you information, you just knew that it made sense. So he gave me all the stuff growing up, and when I was 16 and this guy was 30 something at the Gleaner, the newspaper company, he took me to the movies, and he was very light. And I think he thought, well, you know, because, you know, light skin and dark, sometimes that's the attraction or whatever. And I went with him to the movies. I don't think my father knew. And I remember walking with him out of the movies, and I thought, how the heck are you so confident? I wasn't nervous. I mean, that man could have hurt me. I mean, I didn't have a car. He took the bus. But I remember going home, and I felt perfectly okay. I didn't, if he wanted something from me, I think even back then, I guess he said, I don't give the impression that I have anything to give you, but I'm friendly and I like you, but anyway, go ahead.
I want to get you all opinion once again. I the woman. Sorry for leaving you all gentlemen out of this here, but
that's natural intelligence.
This is a story I heard from a friend of mine. Now she's speaking about another associate of hers. Her boyfriend came to her, and it was the boyfriend's birthday, and she asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he said, "No, man, you're not gonna give me what I want." She said, No, tell me what you want for your birthday." And he said, "A threesome." And she lit up, and she said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I want a threesome." She said, Are you serious?" He said, "Yes." She said, "Oh gosh, I thought you would have never asked that." Hold on. And then she did so. She said, "Jonathan?"
Catch you. Yes.
Yo,
that girl.
Let me tell you something.
My boy said, yo, what you doing? She said, "What? You said you tell me to call one of my friends."
Men always assume. Sorry, go ahead.
My boy said, yo, what you doing? She said, "Hold on, let me finish the conversation." "Jonathan, yeah, I'm telling my boyfriend want a threesome for his birthday tomorrow night. You available? Come on." My boy snatched the phone out of hand, dash it across the room, and say, "Yo, don't ever step to me with no foolishness like that again."
You better not step to her.
But Jonathan, she said, "But what's the problem there? You said call a friend." My boy bolted out the house. When he came back, she was just sitting there looking at him. She said, "Oh, so you're looking at my friends?"
Thank you.
You want me to call a friend for you?
Mm-hmm.
Step to me with any foolishness like that again.
All right.
That was the end of any kind of talk
girl.
like that. A threesome.
My kind of girl. So I like that.
That is one of the statements that make you say, "What the did he just say?" That's what we're talking about. These guys. So, what's the name of the movie? Indecent Proposal.
Oh, yes.
Anybody ever had an
Yeah.
indecent proposal? Men included?
Yeah. I mean,
Let's hear about it.
you'd always have some indecent proposals.
I'm going to stay conspicuously silent.
Uh-oh.
No, you won't. No, the heck you won't. No, you will not.
I had one for a minister.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
I want to hear
everybody
this
have
because
one
me
now.
and Dr. Judith talking later. So I want to get all the
Hold on,
information I can right now.
Sam started. Hold on, Sam started talking first. Let me hear your indecent proposal, sir.
No, I can't expose that out there like that.
Oh,
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah, I know.
I'm done.
I know.
My
I'm going to
indecent
keep a
proposal.
bottle of Listerine right here.
Yeah, I
Alright,
know.
go ahead,
I
Mark.
know.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'd protect the innocent and all them kind of thing.
Oh,
Sit him.
please,
You're the innocent.
please.
Mark?
Mark, go.
Oh, well, I got a
Thank
daughter
you.
out of it.
Thank you. Miles to infinity. Nothing is indecent between the best.
I got a daughter out of the deal.
Well, that's a good thing.
I started a business and I had a proposal. You know, actually, I sent out a request for proposal for investors. And a young lady came and wanted to invest in the company, and we had a business conversation, and she decided she wanted more than business. So I helped you, and she helped me.
Oh, Lord.
Such a giving soul.
I try a great deal.
Can I interject? My indecent proposal was from wasn't a boyfriend, but somebody I was seeing a long time ago. And briefly, actually, because if he had known me, he would have known better. But he suggested a threesome, and he had a friend in mind. The thing that men don't realize is that when you suggest something like that, just like what Curtis just expressed, women would not even consider another woman. A woman would, if she's even thinking on that level, she wants a man. She doesn't. Women don't. Well, heterosexual.
I can't say all that.
Let me put that in. Heterosexual women would not consider bringing in another woman. She would bring in another man if she were to consider that.
Heterosexual women, yes, you're
away
correct.
the very thought.
So you are saying that some women or most women?
I would never generalize. I've never done a survey, but I'm telling you that a lot of women, I would say most, I personally would say most heterosexual females, if they were to consider it with a husband or longtime boyfriend to spice up the relationship. I know Dr. Judith is having a fit right now, but they would not consider bringing in another woman. They would consider a man. I know women go along with it, but I'm telling you, in general, they would prefer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
So I guess the best thing for that guy would be
listen to him.
Is to marry,
you still haven't answered the question.
Is to marry someone or to have a relationship with someone who have like lesbian tendencies.
Where you going now?
In that case,
you still don't answer the question.
Sam, read the box. Somebody talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh God.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce Samuel Archer, the new Prime Minister of Trinidad. Boy.
Oh God.
Yeah, I gotta bring you down to Guyana, boy, because you could run the country.
I could work it right?
You could work that.
Brilliant leadership, man. Brilliant leadership. That's what we're talking about.
What did PM Archer say? We asked him 62 questions.
Okay, Curtis, come in.
What? Okay, so
you bring up politics. Hold on. Mark brought up politics. and it's something, one of those moments where you really had a question what going through somebody's mind came to me. A gentleman by the name of Todd Aiken, and I don't know if what political office he held, but this gentleman said, in regards to rape, he said, if it is a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut down the whole thing.
Yeah. I've heard that recently, yeah.
And basically, the female uterus magically prevents unwanted pregnancy after rape. Wow. That is one of them statements that really make you wonder where this idiot went to school. What were you talking about?
He's demented.
You look at the TV and you said, what the, did he say that? Nurse, talk to me.
Don't say a word, Karin. Don't say a word.
That is absurd. That doesn't deserve a comment, because that it's absurd. No, there's nothing to even address there. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay.
Thought he could say something and just get away with it. That's just foolishness.
That's that. I don't know. Is this a Caucasian person? That's that entitlement thing. Freedom of speech doesn't necessarily mean that you can say anything anywhere. I think it's okay.
But they think everything they say makes sense anyway.
Those are the people that you vote for and put them in office.
Me.
Wow. Wow.
I'll tell you about the pastor. I used to attend this church in New York, and he was younger than me, probably about 15 years younger. And I would sit I very rarely sat in the front. And one day he said to me, I sat in front because the church was too crowded. So I sat up front. And he asked me at the end of the service not to sit up front again. And I'm very serious about those things. Somebody says something to me, I'm going to respect that. So he said, your legs distract me. And I wanted to tell him, something, you need to have a little bit more discipline than that. But I didn't say anything to him. So I said, okay, I never sat up front again. I honored what he said. And then he would call me, because he was single. He would call me. And I got home one day, it was a message. That's when I had a home phone. He left a message on my machine. And he said, your voice is just... I need you to do a recording for me, because I don't know what he thought he was doing. If he was Jamaican, people say you're toasting me. If it was toasting me, I don't know what he thought he was doing. But he was telling me that he liked my voice and I should do a recording for his answering machine and but he didn't have the courage to come out and say exactly what he wanted. After a while, I realized, because if he had wanted a legitimate relationship, what I consider legitimate, he would have come to me, I believe. So what he did, he had a guy from the church who was gay. And the guy would tell me, he likes you, he likes you. I said, let me tell you something. Grown people talk to grown people.
Thank you.
I don't want to hear anything that he likes me. If he wants it, he needs to tell me himself. And that guy came to my apartment one night, a Sunday night, and he called me and said, I said, sure, because people think I'm indifferent. I'm not indifferent. You just can't manage me. So he comes and he's sitting in a chair. I'm in my pajamas because I'm very comfortable with me. So I'm in my pajamas. It's wintertime. And I'm watching a television show. And I started dozing off. He wouldn't move. The guy would not leave. And finally, he got up and he left. And I guess after a while, he couldn't take it. He finally told me at another time what he wanted from me. And he said he wanted to have sexual relations with me. I said, and what else? That's it. I said, no, thank you. I lost respect for him because I thought, you're a pastor. You should do a little better than that. But he actually told me that he wanted to have, he liked my legs and all of this good stuff, but that was not what he wanted. And he actually wanted a light-skinned woman. That's what he was after, and he married one afterwards. But
nice legs, but
light skin,
Dr.
dark
Judith,
skin.
I've been taking copious notes. I just wanted to let you know that I'm a bit of an intellectual. I take copious notes when people speak.
Okay.
And we're going to have a conversation later.
You're telling me that,
for
okay?
a period of time. And don't worry, what I want, you're gonna know within 5 years.
Well, I hope it's in line with what I want.
It's a possibility, probably not, but we'll make that clear at that.
Okay, all
You
right.
hear how the boys,
We'll
you hear how his
clarify.
speech, you hear how his speech change? He got Miles to Infinity said the pastor need love too, Judith. The pastor need love. The pastor need love.
Listen. Let me tell you something, young lady. If he cannot give me love with sex, I don't want it. You can't get sex from me unless you have love. I don't want that. That's I mean, anybody can do that. Plus, if I give it, he'll want love. So there's no sense. That's another story. Anyway,
I have a poem. I have a poem, and it starts off. It says,
You need love
"Why is
with
it
sex or sex with love?
sex with love?"
Which one
it's a
comes first?
package for me. I do not have sexual relations with people that I'm not in love with. I don't see the point to it because anybody, listen, the mind is such that you have a physical. The mind gives the body parts what do you call the word? What do you call the word now? What do you call it? It triggers. The mind triggers the body.
What?
To have a reaction, to have a sexual reaction. For a man, is to have an erection, and for the woman, to have a sexual response. So anybody can have a.
For the woman to get the point.
Yeah, the point. Before we get to the point, Curtis.
The point?
Way before we get to that point. Way before we get to that point. So what I'm saying, Sam, is this: if it's good, it's nice when the brain tells the body and the body feels what it feels. But I have an intellect that it's got to be satisfied also. I can't do one without the other.
Different philosophy.
Well, I don't know, Dr. Judith. I can drink tea without sugar, so I don't have that problem.
I think.
And most men don't. Most men don't.
Most men don't have that problem. Most
But
men don't have that.
I can drink my tea without sugar. The sugar is nice.
And
Dr. Judith,
Yes.
I think there are two types of sex.
Sam trying to talk.
Yes, please.
Yes, I think there's two types of sex.
Men and women.
No, that is gender. But
Sorry.
but there are two types.
Uh-huh.
oh God.
There's one for the body, and there's one for the soul.
Uh-huh.
Each one needs both. For the soul to enjoy it, it needs the body. And sometimes the body just needs what it needs.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also believe that for me, it has to be done in the context of a relationship. So I might be very much in love with my husband, and we have intense, great, wonderful sex, and the emotions and the mind, everything is involved. Another time I see him, I just want some, and I pull off, I go attack him because I have a right to do that as his wife. So I understand what you're saying. They're both important, but I have to have them. I have to have them together.
So that is you personally.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like you were kind of doing across the board.
No.
That,
In a marital relationship, which I've had, is that I had my husband and I had love for each other. We also had strong sexual desire. But every time we made love, it wasn't about, every time we had sex, it wasn't about, well, I love you so much. It was just, hey, that flesh thing, and it got a hold of you, say, hey, I got to have some, and you did it. That's what you mean, right?
Well, no, because, in the same context of just living life every day, let me say hungry. It doesn't mean that your soul is hungry. It means that your body is hungry.
I understand.
All right. So it really have nothing to do with if you like or you don't like, or you
does.
or you love, or
it does. It does.
Or signing a piece of paper. It just means that if you're hungry at this point,
No. I'm pretty disciplined. Sometimes I don't eat. Sometimes I don't eat, no matter how hungry I am.
Mr. Mark Chase. Give us
Mr.
Give
Chris,
the viewers some pearls of wisdom, some ancient pearls of wisdom as we wrap the show up this evening.
Well, first of all, I want to commend Prime Minister Archer on his dissertation. I have no pearls of wisdom. You just gotta watch his mouth.
Yes,
You know? I have no pearl. Some of the things I've heard today, I haven't had pearls of wisdom. I've clutched my pearls. My goodness. Oh my heavens.
Well, listen to him.
But the only pearl of wisdom that I have this evening is that I'm going to have a personal conversation with Dr. Judith. We will work some things out in terms of time and distance, and perhaps we'll disappear from the show for a few episodes. Those are my pearls of wisdom for this evening.
Oh Lord! Look at this idiot.
All selfish. Selfish.
Absolutely. I'm in my third of life. I'm living for myself. Hey, cutie, I talk to you later. You understand?
He's a Sagittarian. He's very practical.
Extremely.
Dr. Barnes.
Extremely. Are you still flexible, girl?
I would say
this is the first time I should get quiet.
Listen, I will send you a tape of my workout. My workout regimen.
Now I'll get my glasses. Now, Mr. Henry, you tease me like that. No, I'll get my glasses because I want to see this. I want to see this, boy.
Listen to him.
Once we hang up and we close out, we'll deal with all of that. Judith, talk to me. Close us out this evening. Let's hear what you got to say.
Close us out. Speaking of close, keep it on. I think that we have exhausted this as much as, except for Sam, who was very limited in his sharing. I have a lot of fun listening to Karin's responses to males. She's I think when I was younger, I was a little bit more radical. And I'm radical in a different way now. And
pull that back up. Hold on. Sam, pull that up. Judith.
Oh. Making the doctor blush. I do blush. And that's a good thing. No, but I think that we have a lot of what we have said is, is real stuff. And Karin, like she said, there's some things that I was talking to a young man the other day, a friend of mine in Florida, and he's in his 40s. I found out recently that he had told a friend of ours that had he been older, he would have proposed to me while I lived in Florida. But he said he was concerned about what people thought about, but he's concerned about what people think socially. So he couldn't have managed just the age difference and whatever. But I say that to say that what Karin was saying is that, and I said it to him Saturday, we talked for 3 hours. And I said to him, you've got to be willing to talk about things as a grown man and not be so afraid, because it's not going to harm you. And now I see that definitely we couldn't have been together because I am very open, although I'm very also closed when necessary. But I think we need to be more communicative in terms of relationships and getting to know people. Like Mark said, you go places and everybody's using the text and everybody's on their phones and stuff. People need, my personal opinion, people need to be able to spend time looking at each other. Those things are important. Even if you get a little shy, it is important that people communicate with their eyes and pay attention to each other. And that's how you communicate well, is that if you look at somebody while you're talking to them, you can tell maybe when you need to stop, maybe you need to say something else, whatever it is. And I think we need to do more of that. But the sexual issue and things that men say and women say, I just hope that we get better, because we are in a very lousy place right now in communication as men and women. And Sam is an example of that, I couldn't resist that. But
why you hit him with the back end of the machete?
but listen, but seriously, we have to understand that anything that is worth anything is worth working at. And one of the most, I say this and I mean it sincerely, one of the most wonderful things that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of is to be married. Marriage is an awesome idea. It's a wonderful concept. I did well at it until I didn't do well at it anymore. My husband, both of us messed up. Both of us made mistakes, and we apologized to each other at the end. But I believe that's one of the greatest ideas that God has to, and I mean it in this sense. It is the most intimate and wonderful thing you can have. When you put the time in it, you become friends. I see people, the shows of people making love. They don't look at each other. What are you doing? I mean, what are you doing if you can't look at the person? You're doing some serious things to the person. Why can't you look at them? So, not you, Sam. I'm not talking about you. So, that's my take. That's it. Sam?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Empress. Hold on, we're getting to Sam just now.
Yeah.
Sam's excited.
Sister. Empress.
Still laughing.
Oh,
I ain't gonna say this time.
I don't have any. I don't.
Talk to us. No,
I don't have any pearls of wisdom, but something Dr. Judith just said. Dr. Judith, in the realm of marriage, you can't always be face to face. Would you agree?
Why?
The most interesting positions in a sexual relationship.
Oh, don't you stop that. Stop that. Just so incorrigible. I got you. I understand.
I think I don't disagree with you, although I definitely expressed here that I never wanted the institution of marriage, but I understand that intimacy and that connection and all of that. Not everybody everything is not for everyone. And we find out the hard way, like you choose people that you're not necessarily compatible with on core issues, core values. So where a lot of us are out here, divorced, and me, I personally would never want to be married again. I just don't. I think I really worked hard at it. I did my very best. So, it's just interesting that you in the in the confines of marriage, the way that you see.
Well, that has a lot to do with my spiritual beliefs.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand and respect that.
Yeah,
I understand and respect that. Yeah. But a lot of people out here, not necessarily wanting marriage again, but certainly would want a partnership. Some of us want monogamy, some don't. And I say for the ones that don't, be honest, be truthful with
right. But my question is this: not to differ. Sorry, Curtis, I know we're wrapping up. The question that I have is this: if you have no problem with monogamy, if you have no problem with having a solid relationship, whatever you call a solid relationship, why is that part of it so offensive to some people?
I don't think it offends. I think that they don't have an acute skill set to deal with relational issues.
But no, what I meant is that if you have a relationship and it's full, and you see each other 7 days a week, and you're doing all these things, you're doing all these relationship things, and you're together, and you're sleeping together, and you're eating together, and you're having sex and all this stuff, why is the next step over so problematic?
I'll talk to
I
you
think
about
everybody's doing the same thing.
For most people, I don't think, it depends on where you are in your life. If you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe you do want the marriage. 40s, 50s, you're like, please.
I still want it. I make no bones about that. I still want it. So
I understand. I do understand that, but it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
No.
Mr. Archer.
Credit.
Hi, guys.
I'm awake. I'm back.
You have the floor by yourself right now.
on the floor by myself.
Sweep it.
This was a really another good topic, and I don't mind being the brunt of the joke once in a while. You know, it helps to carry the vibe. You know, I do remember one time I was at a church event, and when when everything was finished, you know, all the young people were, you know, we're in the sanctuary walking around, and there was this young lady I was interested in, and there were some flowers in the front, close to the pulpit area there. So I took some of those flowers, and how old was I around that time? I was probably like maybe 20, 21. So, you know, you're kind of wild those times. And I threw the flowers, like it was like about 2 or 3 roses, and I just threw them across the sanctuary to the girl.
Romantic.
So it falls at her feet, and the pastor sees this thing as well. So, but he didn't know what it was that was in the air. He just see this thing flying in the air and falls at the lady's feet. And then he realized, oh, it's flowers. Oh. But, you know, he had this reaction like he was about to, you know, like bring down the wrath of God. You're in the sanctuary, you know, that kind of look.
Right.
But then he saw the flowers and he's like, oh, okay.
Oh.
He did the flowers. And the young lady was just bubbling with joy. You know, she had flowers on the
Lord.
bubbling all over. But needless to say, nothing went anywhere after that. Yeah, I know.
Sam, you're killing me.
And another situation, it was Labor Day weekend, and I was at this friend's house, and you know these houses are in Brooklyn. You know, you have the lobby, you have that hallway to you know, from the front of the apartment to the back, and you have the rooms to the, you know. So so they're playing calypso in the house, and there were these 2 older women in the hallway, and the DJ in one side of the room, he said, "Brethren, go in the kitchen and get me a Heineken now." I said, all right. So I going down in the back to go to the kitchen. These 2 ladies hold me in the middle of the hallway and give me a jamming.
Whoa.
I go to the kitchen, get the
Were you
bed.
able to walk after that?
I come back and they give me a next jamming because Calypso playing right here. When I reach back in, I said, "Brethren, I'm not going back in the kitchen again." I'm not going back in that kitchen, brethren. When the ladies are finished, all right, Mr. Young Man.
What is a jamming? What is a jamming, Sam?
Huh?
What's a jamming? What's a jamming?
Dance, but more like
sex.
They were the bread.
Not sex, not sex.
They were the bread, and he was the cheese.
Okay.
It was a dance experience. More like dirty dancing.
It's a dialect incompatibility issue that I was having. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it wasn't that. No,
I figured what it was.
Yeah, but you know, I just thought those were 2 nice stories to satisfy Miles to Infinity and some other folks who would like to hear something nice. All right. So but back to the show.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Back to the show.
Go on, Sam. Go on. It's only about 45 minutes late, but go on, Sam. Go on.
Yeah, I know. Back to the show. I just wanted to share what we had, and these will be some good thoughts. But we did go through not all, but most of what the actual title of the show was, and I do appreciate the fact that we were able to dance around. Oh, thanks for sharing. All right, Miles to Infinity. She's the dying over there. Yeah. I'm happy that we were able to expound on the subject and like really move around with it. the bottom line of this show is for us to consider being sensitive to what we may say to each other, and if something is said that rubs someone the wrong way, that we can always rectify that. I remember growing up, this last story, and we got a thing, we wrap up. I remember as a kid, not too long came from New York, and I'm in Tobago, and Tobago is Stone Age style, Bago and spray, home sweet home lamp and thing, and pitch oil and donkey cart in the road and all kind of things, sheep and fowl and chickens. So I had a little culture shock, because I'm a Brooklynite. And as a kid growing up here, we put ketchup on everything. So I by my auntie house, and she cooked food, real good food.
Sam, you're killing me.
And but seriously, and so I asked for some ketchup. If you see my auntie face.
Oh Lord, my stomach hurts. Oh.
So in that moment, I learned that you might grow up one place and accustomed to one thing, and when you go somewhere else, it could be offensive. Now she was nice enough to kind of consider, he just come down from the States. Maybe he does eat ketchup with everything. She went in the kitchen and she said, "You want some ketchup? You get the ketchup and hook me up and put some ketchup on my food." And, she kind of just realized that I was into that kind of stuff, But
and the moral to the story, Sam. The moral and how it applies to this topic, Sam.
The thing you say can offend. Because if someone from the Caribbean cook food, right? They put all the seasoning and the condiments and all of that in there. When you come and you ask for ketchup on top of that when they give you the food,
insult.
It's like an insult. It's like you're offending them because you say that the food missing something.
Right.
But I am just accustomed as a kid. I'm like what, 5 or 6 years old, and I'm accustomed using ketchup on my food.
Right.
So I'm just asking for ketchup because
that's what you used to.
What I do. Mm-hmm. So she had to be the bigger one and understand that, okay, you know what, he's not trying to offend me.
So when somebody calls you a gal, you have to say, really, maybe it's the culture that he came from why he called me a gal, and he doesn't really mean to offend me. So I will consider that, and I won't get angry and curse him and all of that. I got you, Star.
Well, more than likely, if someone say gal, where I am from, there's a good chance that we were in school together, we was in class together, you know. So it wouldn't go over that, you know. So I wouldn't see someone else and say, "Oh, girl," you know, because then that, you know, we weren't that
close.
I beg you, don't go to Jamaica with that here. Don't take that to Jamaica. May I beg you?
No, Jamaica is Jamaica. I mean, all the work that's
don't take it to Jamaica.
You work that out.
Brothers. If I have anything to say in terms of this whole conversation and saying things with good intention and it coming off the wrong way, and I just want you all to know that effective communication is vitally important in getting, and more importantly, keeping a woman's attention. You have to learn to tell stories. Learn how to engage someone so that they don't even realize the passage of time.
True.
Learn to genuinely listen when a woman speak.
Powerful.
Learn to use words like, really?
Mm.
That's interesting.
Say that again.
Right. You have to offer them value from their perspective. Not from you. Try to understand them. You see, the book on how to understand women, it's still coming out. They're still writing it. They've been writing it for like years.
Millions of years.
Millions of years.
Yes,
the table of contents have been published. This is the table of contents. So the book coming.
In the meantime,
learn to develop a little humor in your interactions and see how much that changes the vibes on a date.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to be a comic. I'm not saying to be a buffoon. But learn how to make a woman smile. Tell interesting stories. Get them laughing. These things make them remember you. And please,
as long as you're being sincere,
please never, ever, 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 ever be on a date with a woman and tell her that she remind you of some other woman. That's a deal breaker. Right, this so is one of those moments that would make us say, what did he just say? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us this evening. Blessed.
That's what they call lubrication of the mind.
oh Lord.